In the last volume of Iron Man, Tony Stark was driven to his absolute limits when Avengers villain Korvac returned to wage a war on the old shellhead. Sadly, Tony Stark was unable to fight off Korvac without falling or turning into some sort of substance. Now, Tony Stark has to pick up the pieces, but that's not even the full extent of his misfortune. In fact, Stark even ended up buying off some of the most dangerous arms across the planet, and now his vast fortune is in ruin. My name is Arco Braddock, and today let's go ahead and talk about the brand new Invincible Iron Man #1 to see what's next for Tony Stark after such a big kind of falling point in his career. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider hitting that subscribe button, and also make sure to like this video as well to support our content. Without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce our creative team on Invincible Iron Man #1. This issue is written by Gerry Duggan. We have art from Juan Frigeri, colors from Bryan Valenza, letters from VC's Joe Caramagna, and we have a cover art drawn from Kael Ngu that I'm actually going to go ahead and show off in just a moment. But first, I want to read off our solicitation text for this brand new Invincible Iron Man issue to get you some context behind this comic. It all ends. Tony Stark, the genius billionaire playboy philanthropist, has lost it all. His wealth, his fame, his friends. But Stark doesn't realize he has so much more to lose, especially when the assassins start to come for him. It's the beginning of the end, as the Golden Avenger must fight for his life and find out what it really means to hit rock bottom. Join Gerry Duggan and Juan Frigeri as they take Iron Man into the darkest corners of the Marvel Universe yet. Here's a look at the cover from Kael Ngu for the new volume of Invincible Iron Man. I love kind of all the effects throughout this issue, and just, kind of like the slight modifications to Iron Man's armor. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I want to start things off here by showing off the artwork from Juan Frigeri. I really enjoyed Juan Frigeri's art in this issue. I think his pencils are incredibly kind of slick and modern. But, it's still easy to kind of read the storytelling and get immersed in the series. Frigeri's art really kind of reminds me of the Invincible Iron Man artist that kicked off the last volume of the series, Kafu, in just the fact that the art is so slick, yet you're able to kind of maintain all of the storytelling, throughout the issue. Moments where characters are kind of interacting with each other also plays an incredibly kind of great sequence as well, and it's always easy to interpret who's talking to who, or who the next individual over on the page is. The best part of this entire issue is just seeing how kind of deep in terms of characterization writer Gerry Duggan is able to get with Tony Stark and Iron Man. The kind of premise of this issue at large is that Tony Stark is writing an autobiography about his life. And the thing that I think really kind of makes this autobiography part of the series stand, apart from being just another cliche and yet another Iron Man comic is the fact that there are so many different characters, settings, and locations that Duggan is able to comment on using this autobiography trick. We're able to get, some more context between the relationship between Tony Stark and Riri-Williams. We're able to see a little bit of the kind of the supporting cast of this issue, and also just getting to learn what Iron Man's perspective is on the world around him is fascinating because of how this character is written, because of how smart, Tony Stark is as an individual. And again, there's just so many different parts of Iron Man that we're able to interpret through Tony's eyes in the script itself. I really enjoyed the actual plot of the issue. It's very sad. And the fact that we had Iron Man go through so much in the last run, and yet he's still going through kind of more of his earth starting to shake and crumble around him, is very upsetting. However, I know that for, first issues of new stories, oftentimes we have to kind of ramp up some of the conflict before we can get to that payoff. So I'm really hoping that this is the start of a turning point for Tony Stark. In this issue, he's essentially being accused of something absolutely horrific. And because of all the baggage that's been in Stark's life recently, these accusations are even more kind of harrowing to read, especially when Tony thinks that they're not even true, in the least of it. So I've been able to kind of read Iron Man through the past couple runs because I think Marvel has done just a wonderful job making sure that each creative team has been really solid on this series. So you can read a character uninterrupted for several years, even though there's different writers and artists on the character. I think Gerry Duggan and Juan Frigeri both have a great kind of aesthetic and voice for the Iron Man character. I really hope that we get the chance to see Tony, get some legitimate wins in future issues, because his character has been just so incredibly dark over the past couple years. But I'm very happy to see what we have here from Gerry Duggan and Juan Frigeri. I think this is an excellent start to the new series. And I was really shocked at just how deep the characterization was able to get through these autobiography sequences throughout this issue. So I want to know from you, did you like Invincible Iron Man #1 as much as I did? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for coming to check out the video, and we'll be back very soon with more wonderful comic book content. We'll see you soon. Bye.